Hey, Mr.Soohoo. Okay, so right now I'm going to be explaining number 1, which is using the double distribute method. Okay, so we were given 3x plus 2y cubed, and so we're going to be using the double distribute method to solve it, to get it in standard form. So how we do that is you take the binomial and you separate it out into 3 different binomials, and you're first going to distribute, like use the distributive property method. You're going to distribute the first 2 right here, and you're going to get this, and then you're going to distribute again. That's why they call it double distribute. You're going to distribute this to this one, and you're going to end up with this long equation, and that's not the answer because you have to simplify that to get it in standard form. And the answer is 27x cubed plus 54x squared y plus 36xy squared plus 8y.
We are going to be using Pascal's triangle to expand this binomial, which is 3x plus 2y to the 3rd power. And so Pascal's triangle is basically this triangle created by Pascal. And it's basically you create your rows by adding terms from the first row down and like adding them from like the sides. So yeah. And so basically, because this binomial is set to the 3rd power, we're going to be using the 3rd row for it. And so you want to expand this binomial, and so for that, you take your 3x and your 2y and you split them up. And so because it's to the 3rd power, all your 3x's, they start from 3 and move down to 0, so you have 3x to the 3rd and then 3x to the 2nd, etc., etc. And then for your 2y, you start with a 3, but on the opposite side, so it goes 2y to the 3rd all the way up to 2y to the 0th power. And so you take these terms that are in the 3rd row of Pascal's triangle and you add them right before each of the equations. So you have 1, 3, 3, and 1. And then so you have this equation, and you come and you simplify all of your terms that are in your parentheses, and then you simplify this some more by multiplying your exponents and your like terms. And so your final result in standard form is 27x to the 3rd power, 54x squared y plus 36xy squared plus 8y to the 3rd power.
Hi, Mr.Soohoo. Alright, so we have a polynomial here and we are simplifying it by factoring. Okay? So what we have here is 5x cubed minus 20x squared minus 45x plus 180. Okay, you take out the greatest common multiple out of all these terms, which is 5. And so out of this, it will be x cubed minus 4x squared minus 9x plus 36. And then you put it in brackets, and you put these in parentheses. You take the first 2 terms and they combine into a binomial, which is right
and
here.
And then you add a plus sign.
And then you add a plus sign.
And take the second 2 terms.
And take the second 2 terms. and add them
into a binomial. So after that, you take these and you figure out what term can come out. And so in this case, it's x squared. And so you put it out and you get x minus 4. And so for this side, it has to match the same term.
Oh, I realize that.
And so you take the 9 out of this, right?
Right.
And you bring it out of the equation.
Yes.
So you have this.
First 2 terms, bring it into 1, and since these 2 match, you bring that into 1. Then you have to factor x squared minus 9.
Which is the difference of 2 squares.
Which is the difference of 2 squares, and that would be x minus 3, x plus 3 because you factored it out, and then you just bring this down, and then you bring down the 5 also. And your final answer is 5, x minus 3, x plus 3, x minus 4. And these 2 are the difference of 2 squares.
Thank you, Lord.
Synthetic division. So we would bring the first term all the way down past the box, and the rest of the terms you bring to the inside the box. So with a -3, you would add it to the -5, which would be a -8. And then for the rest of these, you want to multiply the -3 to the numbers. So for this one, it would be -8 times -3 equals 24. And then you would plus this with -9, which equals 15. And then you do 15 times 3 equals -45. For this one, plus 45 plus -45 equals 0. Then you bring the rest of these down, and then you bring over here. X plus 3 and 1x squared minus 8x plus 15 equals 0. You would factor the x squared, the x squared and the 15. And you take the multiples of 15, and you would want to see if it equals negative 8x. And so what we have here, since you have two x's, you have two different parentheses, so it'll be x minus 3 here for the multiples, and x minus 5 there. So what you have here is x plus 3, x minus 3, x minus 5. So what you want to do is show your work. So x plus 3 equals 0, and that would be x equals negative 3. X minus 3 equals 0, and that would be x equals 3. And x minus 5 equals 0, and that would be x equals 5. And then you would put it in brackets to be x equals negative 3, 3, 5.
Hi, Mr. Soohoo. So we're gonna be doing number 5. So we're starting out with the x-intercepts that they give us, which are 0, -4, and 4. And we're going to put that into the factored form, which is basically setting all of these equal to 0, and you get your factored form. And then we're going to go from factored form to standard form, which is basically double distributing it, which we showed in problem uno. And so and so then you need to simplify that out and you get your standard form. And then also, so then we also know that this is a cubic binomial because the highest power is a 3. So that gives you cubic.
Cubo.
And then there's 2 terms in here, so it's binomial.
Yes. And so basically the degree, which is the highest exponent, is odd because we all know that 3 is odd. And then the leading coefficient, which is the number before, or the term with the highest exponent. So in this case it's x, but it could be really like 1x. And so that's positive. And then, so with this, we know that as x approaches negative infinity, then y goes to negative infinity. And then, so as x approaches positive infinity, then y goes to positive infinity. And so basically we have to figure out our turning points. And so to find that, we do n minus 1. And so n is our degree. And so we have, the degree is 3. So we do 3 minus 1, and then you get at most 2 turning points. And this is our graph. And so we go like,
are we doing that? I don't know. Wait, and then we go.
Wait. Okay, we're done.
Okay. What's up, Mr. Soohoo? For my reflection, I just wanted to say that I think the golden packet thing that you give us is the most useful thing for me and how I learned the most this chapter, because I can go over it many, many times and you give us notes in the middle of class, and it's just easy for me to follow and see the notes that I've taken, and it's easy to study for the test since it's basically the same format as the test. And I think that's just basically what helped me the most this chapter. And I just want to say thank you for being a great teacher. You rock. And I'm having a lot of fun in your class. And I'm looking forward to spending the rest of the year with you. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Soohoo. Sorry about the noises. My mom is having a book club. I just think that the packet that you give us that helps us practice a lot more for the test, the golden packet, this helps all the students a lot with they can like practice over the weekends, or even after you like told us practice like the day that we do that kind of stuff. It just helps us.
Hi, Mr. Soohoo. So I think that in this chapter, the study guide / pre-test thingy was something that was really beneficial because I could always refer back to it, and also having us take notes in our notebooks and doing problems on our whiteboards was really helpful too, and it really helped prepare everyone in the class. So yeah, I think that was good, and thank you so much for teaching us this lesson or this chapter, and I'm excited for the next chapter.
gonna bring out the term that what the fuck? Excuse me.
You just rolled his eyes at me.
Oh yeah, he's weird.
Can you go?
So,
Multiple! Do you not know that?
okay, so are you filming?
No, I just said go for no reason. What are you doing?
Numbers.
You suck, Gavin.
Say you bring.
So mean today. Oh my god. Okay.
Which is using the double twist. In the double twist.